now. And, all right. Oh, looks like we're live.
Finishing my Cheez-Its.
Yeah. That's all right.
I'm just finishing, Doug, these delicious gluten-free Cheez-Its that are now available for your gluten-friendly, sensitive Cheez-It fans.
Guys,
just such a delicious snack cracker. This would really be a great cracker if anyone was to want to sponsor a podcast about Overpower.
Yeah,
we could talk also about Cheez-Its.
Yeah, go get you some Cheez-Its, guys. Hey, Dark Clown, how are you, buddy? Hype. Yep, we're gonna hype. It's all about the Nats and everything that's going on in the world of Overpower. We got a lot happening. Joe from Lazarus is here with us tonight. He's gonna be in here for a little while to answer all your questions. And
happy to see everybody.
Uh-oh. Says we got a big echo. Seriously? All right. Let me try this. All right. All right. Does that help? Hey, John. Counting down. Michael, you're in early. How are you? How is the sound now? Do we still have an echo? And Charlie.
I'm not hearing an echo. I can get a headset if you need me to also. Sorry.
Andy says, you're not ready for the massive Burger King Arthur statue. You're darn right I'm not ready for it.
We went all of the rares in Skybound were done in the same style, but different artists, but we just showed them that card and we said, do them all in the style of this King Arthur.
That's hilarious. All right. Andy says the echo is fixed. It's just Joe that has the echo, but it's a bit better now. Hey, Joe, can you turn your volume down just a bit? Hey, Yusuf, how are you, buddy? There's Merlin, James, Howard. Everyone's signing on tonight. Ben, Eric, Ricky. Yep.
Do I sound better?
Welcome, guys. Everyone's excited to hear all this announcements that you're going to lay on us tonight, Joe. That. All right, Joe's super loud and Doug is soft. All right, I think I can fix that too. I can fix me. All right, let me know if that's any better. So how about giving the Arnold Sculpture and OP t-shirt? I'm not that big of a fan of Arnold to put him on an Overpower shirt. I did get.
I think he's saying, Doug, to find the statue of Arnold. Is there one in Ohio?
Oh, there's like the one where he's flexing. There's one right outside the convention center.
Yeah, so he's saying we should put the Overpower shirt on the statue.
Oh, put it. You know what? That would take a huge shirt. All right, let me see if I can work that out. I might be able to do something like that. I did get designs for t-shirts today. Let me see if I can. Where did he send that to? Oh, I don't. Nope, I can't get them today. I can't put them on the stream. Maybe I'll share some of those tomorrow. But we will have the 2025 Overpower Nationals logo on t-shirts for anyone who wants to buy one next weekend. They will be here and available on site. You can buy them and take them home with you. Arnold is the GOAT. He even reviewed some Skybound cards. What?
What about Skybound?
He said Arnold reviewed some Skybound cards.
Andrew Taylor? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, Andrew Taylor says that Arnold is the GOAT. He even reviewed some Skybound cards. Joe knows. Well, Merlin, thanks for putting your dinner on hold for a little while. Yeah, I can get you pizza. Want to come here and pick it up? Jet's Pizza is always ready to serve overpowered guys. And Ricky says, the sound is fine enough, leave it. Okay. And Howard says an extra, extra large T-shirt. Is that for the Arnold statue, Howard? All right, I'm not going to change a thing. We'll go with it the way it is. All right, stream looks great, says Nor. Thank you, Nor. It's all because of you. Appreciate you taking care of it.
Very easy this time, Nor. Great job.
Yeah.
One button, I was right in the room.
Yep, and it's awesome. So from now on, whenever we need a guest, we'll be able to just bring them right in. I'm going to try to, one other thing, if it'll let me. Oh, there we go.
So while you're setting that up, I'm coming to you from a Overpower Summit that we're having in Boston. We have a lot of people in town, and we used a bunch of the playtest cards, and we're doing the first Skybound draft right now, like we did with the last set. So there's about 8 guys in the other little house over here drafting Skybound.
Is that going to be a multiple day event or just today?
It started yesterday, so it's already day 2, and it will be going tomorrow as well.
Nice.
So it's design, theory, everything we need to plan out for new sets.
And it looks like the GOAT has joined us. Marcel, how are you, buddy? And I will keep that pizza warm for you. Oh, the Overpower Mountain Podcast says the greatest Overpower player ever is in the room. Well, thank you, Marcel. I don't think I deserve all that, but I'll take it. Thanks. All right, Joe, we got a whole room full, so we're going to start right off the bat. A little earlier than we planned, but let's tell them what you got cooking. What's going on?
All right, so our big news, the reason I asked Doug if I could jump on with him at the beginning is we weren't certain with the damages. We didn't have the final count of what was and wasn't damaged. It turned out that we were in better shape than we thought. So the big announcement, and it's great news, we do not have to reprint any of the uncut sheets.
Awesome.
And so I wanted to explain what we were able to do. So in some of the cases, the uncommon bundle, a lot of the damage was 2 of the uncommon sheets. And so what we did is we figured people would be fine if we had a large stack of uncommon foil sheets that were going to be just prize support. So any place where those 2 sheets were damaged, instead of the 2 common sheets in a bundle of 5, you're going to get 4 sheets, but those 2 common sheets have been turned into an uncommon foil sheet.
Nice.
So that's essentially what we did with that. In some cases with the common bundles, we were able to just switch from bundle to bundle. And so you might not get the exact 5 that we had originally planned, but you'll still get 5 of the originally printed common sheets. We had 2 of the starter decks, for example, the Resistance and Time Detectives. Those weren't included in any of the common bundles originally. We'd saved those back for prize support. But we had way more than we needed. So we started taking those starter deck ones and putting them in. So instead of getting like what you might have got, which was just a common character with specials, you might get one of the starter deck common sheets from Time Detectives. Okay. And the great thing is there's not going to be as many copies of these things out there either. So if you get one of those like Time Detective or Resistance ones, they're actually going to be pretty rare compared to the other ones. Even though they're common characters, they're going to be a rarer sheet. So everything we were able to do is going to be an upgrade of some kind. So there's no situation where you're going to get your uncut sheets and it just have less or it be downgraded. If you have less sheets, it's because they were upgraded to a foil or they were upgraded to a more rare version of the same rarity.
Okay. So that should please everybody, I would say.
I hope so. Look, guys, it's like anything else where we are operating as a smaller entity to start with. Now we're starting to get pretty big. We've got employees and we're growing constantly. Everything's going great. But, there's realities to these things. We're not ordering hundreds and hundreds of extras of everything in case something goes wrong. And when something like this happens where there's damage, we just have to do what we can. But the great news is that this didn't require everything everybody's going to get is one of the uncut sheets from the original print run. So
I got a question about the sheets. The store level, I can't remember what it was called, but the highest level that gets the
I think it was the championship tier.
Okay, the championship tier, the uncut sheets for the ultra rare foils.
Yep. I don't think those I don't believe were affected at all.
And how many does the store get at that level?
Oh, I don't remember those numbers. I'd have to go check that. Sorry, I don't remember that off the top of my head. But it was actually only about 7, we call them forms. So for example, like in the commons, there's like 8 forms. So 8 different sheets that can appear. And then there's like so many uncommons and foils and starter decks. And we probably had, I think, 30 different forms. There was only like 5 of them that actually had damage. So even though it was like spread out over a bunch of bundles, it ended up being not as a big of a issue as we thought it was going to be when we first put the word out. So it just was an incredible amount of work to go through literally like 800 lines of orders by hand and change the descriptions in the serial numbers. So that's why it took us so long. But overall, it was, best case scenario for the outcome. So,
all right. So Howard's asking, when can we expect them to start arriving? Are they shipping now? Are they
yep. We submitted, I believe the with list went to cardio today. So within, if it didn't, it's going tomorrow, and then they'll be immediately starting what they call the pick and pull. So I think with all those lines, there was only about maybe like 25% of the people that hadn't gotten the orders out yet. It just happened to be, I know I saw Howard, I saw you, Doug, for Heroes and Games. But it's not going to take them more than, I imagine you guys are going to be getting this stuff right after Nationals.
Okay, good.
And maybe even, look, I don't want to make any promises, but like if yours gets packed up first, Doug, like there's a world where it arrives before Nationals still.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any promises, but.
Yeah, it's only a 3-day drive.
Right. Like it's coming from Texas and, they're not dropping at the Buddha facility anymore. Anything we do, they take it directly to the main hub. So.
Good. Oh, so that's great. So everyone, Howard's probably going to have a little bit of wait because they got to go through customs. But
I think Howard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. The Canadian ones, you guys are probably, if you're going through customs with a Canadian order, then yeah, you might just have to wait on that.
Okay. So. Well, that's good that it was that low a percentage. So we could get the Lokis before Nats? Asked James.
There's a possibility. Look,
that's all shipping
they're
together,
already
right?
working. The what?
That's all shipping together, right?
Yep, everything's shipping together at this point. If you already have your uncut sheets and all your other things, your Loki and your 2 prize packs should be coming as an individual order. Those are already now starting to go out. So they're orders that were already fulfilled. If you haven't got your uncut sheet, you're going to get your uncut sheet, your Any Hero Essentials foil pack, your Lokis, and your 2 prize packs. And all 4 of those items are going to go in one order. And that'll put the Kickstarter to bed, so to speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just in time to start another one with Felipe.
Yeah, after I said I wasn't ever going to do one again, we will have another Kickstarter coming up for the Few and the Cursed. I keep calling them Challenger decks, but we're changing that name because it's proprietary apparently. But whatever we decide to do for those two dueling overpowered deck boxes.
Okay. How soon do you think that Kickstarter is going to go up?
I think our intention is to do this faster than you guys are used to seeing anything. And if we have our way, design process is well underway, art's already being created and pulled. We are printing these through a different vendor. We're going to be still printing these through the vendor that Felipe's used for his product. The intention, I've gone through them with the card stock. They have the same stock that we used with Cardamundi. And it's still press printing, so we shouldn't see a drop in quality for them. I'm seeing samples before we finalize, but to answer the question, I think there's a world where we get this Kickstarter up by end of March, and it's a super fast one, and we're ready to fulfill to try to get you guys cards to play before Skybound.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Now that's very pie in the sky, but we've got the process underway, and that's That is the intention, is to try to get you guys something to shake the meta up a little bit when the regionals start.
Okay, we like that. Ricky says we can call them the challenge decks instead of a challenge deck.
Well, that maybe dovetails into the other thing we wanted to talk about.
Let's go right into that. We got rid of challenge, and now
so we wanted to make an announcement to the community on the LRG side, and we're going to be putting all this information out with everything with the Kickstarter fulfillment and what I'm about to tell you, both through our socials, on the Discord, and our newsletter. We're going to try to get out within the week. That's going to have this as a Dispatch Diaries update. We are going to be using a new tournament software officially for Nationals. So we are going with a company called Top Deck GG. They are currently doing a number of decent sized games. They kind of have a reputation for having the best software of anybody that does this. So while we had a great experience with Cardio, there's just for custom things that we wanted with Overpower, we're trying something out that's new. We haven't made a commitment necessarily to go big with them indefinitely, but we like what we see, so we're going to give them a try at Nationals. The only thing that's going to make that a little bit of a hard time is we have our guys training on it right now. So we're going to have James Sanderson as the TO, and other people are already doing the training on how to use the software. So we're going to have that side covered, but everyone is going to have to make a Top Deck GG account before Nationals to make it easier for us. I mean, you can do it on the day, but we're going to ask that. The Overpower community is very good about proactively doing things. And so I know we're going to obviously assume that our play test groups are going to do it if you're part of those groups and you're listening. So as soon as we're set up and we can give the thumbs up on doing that, we're going to do a hard push to try to get everybody in the community to make their accounts ahead of time.
All right. Speaking of playtest groups, we got a big one in Columbus this time. We're actually going to meet tomorrow, so I will have all of our guys sign up tomorrow.
Just let them know about it. I don't believe we're ready to get the account set up yet, okay. But all right, let me find out.
All right. All right, we got a couple questions here in the chat. James is asking, will LRG or Felipe be in charge of the Kickstarter? It's kind of a combo deal, right?
It really is. Felipe has a lot more experience with running these, especially shorter ones. So that part of it will probably default to him, but I don't think we've ironed that out exactly. It's definitely a full partnership. So two of the people from his team are on the design team that's going to be made up of a small amount of the normal design team from LRG. And, we're working with a lot of his artists. We're going to try to put a few of the big names in that we have for some rares. But he has such amazing artists for that series already. It just makes sense to work with them and some of the pieces. There's a lot of crossover too. Wilton Santos, who drew Mina Harker, has done stuff for a few in the Cursed, and you'll actually find a lot of that crossover, mostly because a lot of our artists come from the Joe Prado studio that's also in Brazil. So it makes sense that for Felipe's projects, a lot of those artists have crossed paths. They're at the same conventions. So that's kind of a cool thing when he starts to talk about his lists of people, and it's like, oh yeah, they've done stuff for like Wilton Santos has done stuff for every set so far.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. He's one of my favorite artists right now in comics. So.
Nor's asking, are you going to move the card directory over to Top Deck?
Okay. This is where I'm getting. I'm trying to keep track of all the emails. So again, never hold me to it if it's not exactly. I believe that yes, that will also be something that Top Deck GG is capable of. And if I'm wrong about that, then I'm confusing it with when our new website launches, which is going to be very soon. That functionality is going to be baked in that level somehow. So we definitely are going to have that more functional than it is right now. I'm aware that the version of it that's on Cardio has not been everyone's favorite. I've struggled with it myself. It's a fine reference tool. It's not a great reference tool. And I've personally found it to be a pretty subpar tool for building decks and doing that aspect of it. So I'm being told that what we have coming down the pipe is going to be a lot more user friendly. It's still going to have the inventory, but it's going to focus more on being able to actually build your decks.
Nice.
So
Marcel wants to remind everybody that he's back this week with a live podcast. So we'll give him a little shout out and let you all know. If you want to watch the OP Goat Wednesday, if you watch it live, if you don't watch it live, you can't catch it till he uploads it the following week. I think he says he's going to upload them on Mondays. What the heck is that? Why are you uploading on a Monday? Maybe you hold it off till Tuesday. But then he also asked, any surprises from LRG for the Nationals? What cardboard cutouts can I pose with? Oh.
I mean, is that a surprise? Are they right there, Doug? Like,
they are right here. I have not made any public announcements about them.
I mean, if you want to pull one of them over and show them, I'm fine with that.
Oh my gosh, no! Those things are they're like 9 foot tall.
Okay, yeah, there's some cardboard cutouts there, so.
And they're 2-piece cardboard cutouts, so it's not very easy to move them. Let me see if I got an image here. I know I do.
I mean, they're very fun.
I thought they were going to be pretty difficult to put together, but they weren't. We did it quite easily. Where did I? Oh, wait a minute. I sent it to you. No, did I? Yeah, here we go.
You texted me a photo of it at one point.
I did, yes. Here it is. So, let me, come on now. Sorry, my phone is the camera. That's why I'm having a hard time. All right, now the lights went out.
That's like, we have a really big anti-spoiler software that when you tried to show it, it auto shut down.
All right.
Well, there we go.
There's Hercules. Oh, get back there.
So it says, for what you can't see at the bottom, it's for the 2025 Season 0 Nationals. Yes, we know the tournament's in 2026. It's for the 2025 season. But yeah, if you've seen the 8 Brute Force Power card, that's what's chilling at the top of one of the standees we had made. So there you go. You're going to be able to get some cool photos with those. You'll have another one that's going to be a surprise.
All right. There's what we got. So I can't show you a better picture. But there are 2 standees here. They are huge. You're going to love them. We have some other decorations, Joe, that I have not told you about or sent to you that Heroes and Games has done. We're going to leave a nice.
Fantastic.
We're going to surprise everybody with those when you show up. Some of them, actually all but one, is already in the room set up, and people have just been blown away by this stuff. Super excited. I called the printer today because they hadn't responded on the one that was most requested. And I said, hey, did you get that email? And they had overlooked it. So they're going to try and make the final one up for us. I might be able to get it Wednesday. And the room is going to be decorated. You guys are going to love it. What's that?
I was going to say my last piece of news having to do with the Nationals is, we're trying to get the big deal we've been talking about for the last year. The last stages of the contract are happening. So if we can get this deal signed before Nationals, we will tell you at Nationals what the next big IP is going to be.
Oh, all right.
And it's big news. I think you guys are going to be pretty excited.
Holy cow, that's first I've heard of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we've actually got we've been starting to get pretty far along with a couple of companies I think you guys are going to be blown away with. But one of them is we are this close to finalizing. So
Joe's doing his very best not to spoil it, guys. Don't ask him any more
yeah,
questions about what it is. He might let it slip. Let's see. You know, James says we got to get Doug a second phone. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier today. I do need one. Andy Carpe here, he has seen these standees, so he can tell you how great they are. Hey, Traveling Goof, how are you? Eric says, Joe, is LRG doing demos at C2E2 this year?
We don't have anything set up for demos, but I believe I've got a panel there. So I believe we have a panel set up. We're going to be talking about it, and there's going to be some kind of a presence, I believe. So,
were you guys able to get into Gen Con?
Still nothing on Gen Con. We've got multiple people constantly checking to see if there's any cancellations for tables. So, yeah, it's just what it is. I mean, Gen Con told us 2.5 years ago that it was a 2-year wait usually to get a table. We kind of didn't think that was how long it was going to be. But no, the reality was, yeah, people just don't pull out of that one very often. And so there just hasn't been an opening. So it sounds pretty solid for next year. You know, we have the same contact, and there's a list of people waiting to get on, and he's saying with where we are, he's pretty confident next year we'll have our whole setup, and then once you're in, you can keep upping it as long as you want. So
yeah. It's hard to get in, but once you're there, you're locked.
Yeah.
And the Dark Clown says Joe is our Tom Holland.
Yeah, they call me that here too. So,
and the Freak Show says that it sounds marvelous. But we shall see. Yes. Joey, you're coming, right? You're going to be here. So hopefully we'll get a nice announcement at the Nats. I'm sure everyone will be excited about
I would love, we're really pushing. I would love to be able to announce it at Nationals. Because then I don't have to keep the secret. So.
Exactly. Secrets are hard to keep. All right. Guys, anyone else got any questions for Joe before he takes off? He's got some play testing he wants to go do. I'm not seeing anything else in the chat. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Michael says, sadly, he's still not making it to Nationals. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. But we'd love to have you if something changes. I do have in front of me my second shipment of graded cards from CGC. Joe, did you send CGC any cards yet?
No, I haven't, but there's definitely some that I want to send. So there'll definitely be some Skybound ones I get graded just to have them graded. So I'm psyched you guys are getting into that. That's on my list.
Yeah, I think Patty Crypto, who has not showed up in the chat yet, was talking about sending some stuff. But I'm going to open this box here on the stream here in a little bit. Merlin says, when is Joe coming back to Toronto for some D&D?
Oh, is that Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to. I would love to go up and play again as soon as I think maybe once we launch and we fully grow into a full paid staff. That will probably be when I have a little more free weekends. So,
oh, Joey has surgery this Friday, and so he'll only be there in spirit. Well, I hope your surgery goes well, my friend. I'm sorry I'm going to miss a ride in that Mustang. Maybe next year. Or maybe you can come to the
Joey, you got to come down to Boston. We miss you. As soon as you're back on the men, come hit up one of the Wednesday nights.
There you go. And Ricky says Rudy told him he'd grade overpower cards with PCG. I was actually going to reach out to them. So, okay, Ricky, I might be sending something
That's amazing.
To them. They have the nicest holders, I think. So I might send out a batch to him and see what he does after we open this one and see how bad my grades are. This was only a 7-card submission, one of which was a ultra rare non-foil. The other 6 cards are all foils. So we'll see how good they do. My ultra rare foils that went into the first batch They graded them very, very harsh.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. Howard wants to know how you're drafting without packs.
So we still have one of the blocks of playtest, or multiple blocks of the playtest cards. So I sat there for a nerdy amount of time and I know all which ones are uncommon because I built the distribution model. So I just physically made stack characters, and then I used a randomizer online for which two were in each pack. And then we took all the uncommons that we know are going to be, and we used proxies from the original legacy cards for what's going to make up the new any character suite. Yeah, and then we shuffled up a big stack of random uncommons and filled them in, and then put other playtest characters in for the rare character, and just made our own packs. And then we made way more than we needed, and then randomized which ones we actually got as packs. We usually put them in like Ziploc bags. So we just create fake packs and do it that way.
That's a lot of work.
Yep, but it's fun. It's worth it.
Okay. Ricky has a question. Ask Joe his thoughts on rainbow foils.
So I don't have a lot of thoughts on individual types of foil. What I will say is we have the option to do a lot more kind of foiling. It's not going to be done for the Skybound set, but that's one of the things James Sanderson's been pushing us on a lot in a good way. And so starting with Top Cow, you're going to see different kinds of foiling within the different slots that we are able to do it in. Probably just rare, but, depending on, there's expansions going on at Cartamundi constantly to create more machine availability and more options. And so I would eventually love to get back to doing the foil stacks in different places. There's practical issues with that as well. Unfortunately, people will already weigh packs to the smallest increments to tell how many foil cards are in a pack. So if you get an unscrupulous vendor, for example, they might weigh every pack before they put a box of cards out for people to buy. And if we're making foil stacks, they are incredibly easy to weigh and find out which ones are going to have the stacks. And so there's issues like that to doing it as well. But I think we still want to. It makes opening the packs really fun when you buy them from a way that's not going to happen. So yeah, I think that's a really long-winded answer to your question.
Yeah, Ricky says, but don't rainbow foils already exist, Doug?
Right. No, so sorry. Yeah, we have what we'll start doing with Top Cow is we have the option of using other types of foil. We just haven't done it yet. So right now what we do is, if you want to get me to talk technically, so it used to be that all foiling, like rainbow foiling, are layers that went over cards. You'll notice one of the earliest changes we made is we used to do the promos in the linen stock because we like it. A lot of people really like the feel. It's kind of different. But you can't do overlay foil on linen because it's a heated process. And you can't heat it. It doesn't take onto the linen the same way. So you can't foil linen stock cards. So we switched to smooth stock. But what they also have now, which they didn't used to have, back in the original Magic days, is they produce their black core now with the foiling done on the paper, and then the ink goes on top of that, and then you get either your UV coat or your card varnish. But what that allows us to do is we've innovated a process where we will put varying levels of opacity underneath. So we'll have your foil, and we'll say, okay, Deja Thoris's foil card, we really want her armor to pop, but we want her skin to look normal. So we put a layer of white ink hidden in the file where her skin is at like 95% opacity. So it's white, then the skin color prints on the white. But for the armor, we won't put anything. So you get the ink directly onto the foil. And you'll notice with our foils, why they look as amazing as they do, all those different layered levels of foiling is what creates that three-dimensional image. If you look at our original like Zeus and Isis promo cards we did with Make Playing cards where they just put it over the top, it's shiny, but it mutes the colors and it muddles things. Whereas if you look at ours, every one of our cards is custom designed for that foiling process. But because we do that, we've been a little reluctant to go back to any of the ones that just go on with heat. But as I was saying, James Sanderson has been really good about convincing us to do that. And so when we get to Top Cow, we're going to have different kinds of foil that we use. They just, you have to understand that for like a rainbow foil, that's going to be a card printed on stock with a iron over it, and you're not going to have the same effect that you have with the traditional foil we use where the ink's on top of the foil. So that's again a little bit of a technical, long-winded explanation, but we are going to go to that, but there's reasons why we haven't done it yet either.
All right. Nora wants to know, do we have any idea what the foil odds are going to be in Skybound?
With the foil, what?
The odds. How often are we going to get a foil card or anything like that?
Exactly the same as Skybound for the rare slot. So you can even look at a pack of ERB, and it's going to, whatever it says for the rare foils, they're dropping at the exact same percentage.
Okay, good. Ricky says he won't acknowledge your weird foils, Doug. Yeah, I think what Ricky was talking about are the ones that I have acquired that the foiling looks totally different on a handful of them. And I've had them on the show and showed them before. I'll show them to you when you get here. But
I think I saw them. I think is honestly that's probably just a defect in the foil that we printed on top of it. Just probably like I don't know anything about how they create the different lighting effects in foil, but they probably just the mix was off or something. I don't know. That's why it's creating more of a rainbow effect.
But they look fantastic. All right, here's one for you from the GOAT. Ask Joe who he predicts will win the Nationals, characters and player.
Whew. I mean, I can't. Who knows with player? That's my genuine answer, and it's not a non-answer. Is I think what we've seen with this season, which has been great, one, a really long time for people to develop a meta. Starting to think about an environment where every 4 to 6 months there's a new set. Like that's going to be crazy. Even with this set, we had people have it for a long time. We had a year of events, and we're still seeing new decks innovated. This Sherlock Holmes, Merlin, King Arthur deck that we're seeing multiple people play online in the Discords. I mean, that thing's a powerhouse. We've seen somebody at our local week started using it too. And I think you're going to see a version of that, do some damage. So I think it's going to be, there's so many good players and there's so many new players that have shown they can jump in and look at the game in a new way and create something competitive. I think though, the only reason I would pick this, if I'm going to put my money, I'd say the person I think has done the most work and is preparing for it the most is probably Sean Ballantyne. I know he's playing a ton online. He's been playing a ton all season, so I know he's listening. So I'd say that's definitely somebody I'd bet is going to make top 8 and do well. Character wise, I think people have a hard time getting away from the ones that have done the best. We've seen a meta develop. I think people are going to say, well, it's the big one. So I'm going to play some Leonidas. I'm going to play Wicked Witch. I'm going to play Sun Wukong. And so probably, if the best players are playing those characters, we're probably going to see a lot of those two styles. Those have come out as the most powerful decks so far. But, again, we've also seen Joan of Arc win standard, our modern and legacy. So there might be a Joan of Arc deck out there that spikes. But, I think the monkey's shown he's pretty powerful in this meta. So
he certainly is. Yes, Merlin, he's talking about you. All right, guys. Anything? Joey's asking, Joe, do you play the Dragon Ball Fusion World trading card game? Are you a Dragon Ball?
I remember it. That was the one that was out right before COVID, right?
No, that's out now. It's
okay.
It replaced the Dragon Ball set that Bandai first put out. Now they're calling it Fusion World and totally rebooted it.
No, I haven't. I love card games, so I'll try anything. And while I haven't ever gotten into Dragon Ball, it's always been on my list. Sean Sawyer loves it. Dave McMillan loves it. you know, and it's something that I think the amount of it that exists always is a little overwhelming for me to jump into. But I mean, that's a property that whenever we list what we want and throw around, that's on our list. I would love if we even had like a hint of getting a Dragon Ball set for Overpower. I would read all the books and I would go through all the shows and catch up because it seems like it's right up my alley. It was like it got big in like 99, and that was the first year after I was out of high school. So I was like, couldn't afford cable. I had no way to watch TV. Like, it wasn't like it is now, kids, where you can just turn on your computer.
Yep.
You had to like have a guy come into your house and wire things. You had to own a TV. It's, you know, there's a lot back then.
Yeah. And One Piece would be huge too.
Well, I think with the One Piece game doing as well as it's doing, I'd be pretty surprised if we do that anytime soon.
Yeah, that game's just monster right now. We got a new set releasing this Friday. Fortunately, there won't. I'm glad it's this Friday and not next Friday during the Nats. That would be terrible for us. But all right, Joe, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and taking the questions.
Anytime.
And telling everybody about the Uncut sheets, and they can start looking for those. Guys, make sure you go to topdeck.gg and sign up for an account. Please do that before the Nationals. Don't show up the morning of registration and not have that done. It will just make things go.
Yeah, if you guys can help us out with that, that's going to make it better for you. If you know,
Right.
if 75 people show up and have to stand there and make accounts, we're not going to get this thing going until noon.
Right.
I still think there's a world where we break 100 players at this Nationals. So
That would be amazing. And I'd like to see us break 20 for the last chance qualifier. We're at 12. So if you haven't qualified and you're planning on coming, please go register. Just make me feel a little bit better knowing that you guys are coming. But you can create that Top Deck account now. You don't have to wait for Overpower to be on there to create your account.
yeah, if that's, I don't know how it works. If you guys can make the accounts and then just follow Overpower later, I recommend jumping on and starting to do it. So.
Right. So we already have one as a store. I'll probably have to go in and create one individually. But, Merlin's saying send us the link ASAP. It's literally just topdeck.gg. I'll put that
I'm gonna type it in right now
Yeah, there we go.
and see if that works.
What time does the Friday skirmish start?
I believe it's at 6 p.m. sharp.
Yeah, I think so too. That's Keith. Keith is running that one.
Keith's gonna be running that one, yeah. Yeah, if you just type in topdeck.gg, it takes you right to the site.
There's an app too, the Traveling Goof says. I don't know, topdeck.gg. Yeah, it won't let me put a link in there, but there it is. Just copy and paste it into your browser. All right, Joe. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much, everybody.
And we will talk to you next week.
I can't wait. We're so excited. We can't wait to see everybody. This is, you know, every step we take, it's humbling. It makes us more grateful. And, you know, we said when we had our first regional at the beginning of the year, and actually, you know, Phil Miller said it when he was talking to me at the end, there were so many times in the 10 years leading up to this relaunching officially, where we thought it was going to fail. And, you know, I asked him, I was like, did you ever expect to be playing a $10,000 tournament for Overpower ever again? And he was just like, no, I thought it was dead so many times. And this is the same feeling for us, you know, that he expressed back then, is we've got that same gratitude. You know, we are obviously trying to do this as a business, but it's a business we're doing. We had other jobs. We're doing this because we want to be in the business of bringing something that's meant so much to so many of us to as many people as we can. And we can't do that without you. So we really love this community. It really is the best community in gaming. And I can't wait to see 100 people getting to play this at the first event of that size in 30 years. So
Yeah, amazing. I will say real quick, Howard is saying that it is important that players use the same ID and email as used on cardio so that they can bring the ratings across. Okay, so
oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. So go there and use the same email that you used, the same ID, which kind of sucks.
Okay.
Nobody knows anybody's ID. Who is that? Who is that? But we'll work it out. So, all right, Joe, go play some games, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, back to the testing, everybody. Thanks so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Let's see here. If I go here, oh, there we go. He's gone. All right, guys. Howard, I didn't know that. I would have said that sooner if I'd have known that they needed that same ID. I never even thought about that. But go to topdeck.gg. Use the same email address and the same screen name. Uh-oh, Merlin already screwed everything up. Isn't that just like him? Well, Joe had only planned on being on for 15 or 20 minutes, and we went 45. So that's a lot. A lot longer than I had planned. So I'm going to get right into opening up this package from CGC. Let's see what kind of grades they hammered me on this time. I should not have sent all those foils. CGC does not seem to like foils. You can go into your account and create a username apart from your real name. Oh, that's nice. Okay. I was not aware of that. I think Top Deck's going to be a good thing. I thought cardio was going to be a good thing too, but they did not. They did not fulfill promises, that's for sure. All right. Here's my first one, and I forgot to bring my lint-free cloth. One of these days I'll remember that. Dr. Watson, ultra rare. I got a 10. Gem Mint 10. All right, we're off to a good start. I think I'll put that in the showcase and try and sell that. Oh, all right, this one I'm going to keep. This is Victory Harbin. I'm a pretty big fan of Victory Harbin. I like her in the game. I like Chris that created her. But I'm going to keep this one even though it only got an 8.5. Holy cow. Man, I don't see any misses in the foil on these like there was on those ultra rares. I don't know why they hammered me so much on that. There's a Dracula. Dracula got an 8.5 also. What the heck? CGC, what are you doing to me? These backs look beautiful. They're centered. Ugh. All right. I don't think I'll be sending any more foils in. No, there's no grader notes on them, Merlin. That's what's so frustrating. There's no way to find out. And Howard says Top Deck is head and shoulders above cardio. Good. Good. Merlin only got an 8. What? All right, so Jessica says she wants to look at these when they come back. She thinks it's my bad eyesight. Robin Hood. 8.5. Ugh. No, PSA did not buy CGC. They bought Beckett. Then we got the Wicked Witch. She only got an 8.5. Wow. Well, I could almost see a little in the corners of the Wicked Witch, but not enough to bring it down to an 8.5. Oh my goodness. James says tag is awesome because they give notes. Yeah, CGC gives graders notes on comic books. I don't know why they don't do it on cards. I'll have to look into that. Van Helsing. This one is probably my favorite foil card. I just really like it. Well, the Invisible Man. Then Van Helsing, maybe. Van Helsing got a 9. And Nor says at least they're consistent. Yes. I got 1 9. 4 8.5s and 1 8. So they are very consistent. OP foils max out at an 8.5. Well, actually, they max out at a 9. So I did get 1 9. Let me see if they sent me a note. Oh, there's no note. It says, Doug, don't send us any more foils. Deal. I'm not going to grade any more foil cards. Jessica says I have to let her look at them before I send any cards at all, foil or not. The Robin Hood, they give you an image of the front and back of the card online. The Robin Hood had a big line down the image that's not actually on the card. I don't know. Jessica's will point everything out. She's got better eyes than me. Andy says, Victory Harbor was my very first foil rare. I like it. An 8.5 is a 9.8 in comics, says James. Yeah, that would be awesome if that were true. Wow. All right. Yeah, I'll just let Jessica do them. She'll just reject all of them and say don't send any more. And I'll say okay. And actually, out of all of these, I kind of want to keep them all. I might put the Dracula and the Robin Hood and the Wicked Witch. I'll put them in the showcases. What do you think? $30 each? I think $30 each. If anyone wants to buy an 8.5 Wicked Witch, Dracula, the Robin Hood at $30, it's a deal. I'll sell them. I don't know how much I'm going to ask for Dr. Watson. He's a 10. And I've looked at a lot of ultra rares. And this was the only one I could come up with that I thought for sure was a 10. Every one that I looked at had a line right up the middle of the back of the card. And the King Arthurs were only at the bottom half of the card. But a lot of the others went all the way to the top. So if you're thinking about grading cards, look at your ultra rares. Just flip them over on the back and see if there's a line up there. If there's a line, don't send it. All right. Well, no, Andy, I had a Victory Harbor and a Van Helsing. Oh, is that who you meant? They're both VHs. Yeah. And I think we're going to call it a night there, fellas. I know it's not quite 8 o'clock, but make an 8.5 wall. Yeah. Yeah, makes the 10s worth something. Yeah, you got that right. If you can get a 10 on a foil, it'll be worth a lot of money. You can find someone that wants to buy it. That's always the trick, right? We're all big fans of this stuff, but I don't know. I wish Patty Crypto had been on tonight so I could find out if he sent anything in. All right, so I'll find another 5 or 10 foils, and I'm going to send them down to Rudy in Florida. What is his, PCG or PGC? Let's see what they do. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I will see you all soon. We are going to live stream next Monday night. We're going to do it on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, all day on Friday maybe. We'll just do a lot of on-the-spot podcasting. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys so much. On the way out, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like on the stream. Let Joe know that you appreciate him coming on. That would be great. And you're right, Nor, there is a terrible, terrible delay. I'm looking on YouTube now. Joe's still on there. Wow. All right. You guys have a great week. We'll see you soon.